This is kvci.blogspot.com. I'm George Boston Rhymes, and I'm down to the Martin Luther King corridor before this beautiful obelisk, a representation of a great patriot and fellow servant of Jesus the Christ and all of the righteous that traveled that great line of Holy Divine. To God Almighty, I want to apologize to you today for having something that may look like an image or what we may think that will portray something to visualize what Jesus may have looked like. But I just want to say to Jesus, today, January the 10th, the month wherein we celebrate the life and legacy of a great American by the name of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., his legacy, his birth, his civil rights movement accomplishments, his educational background. But Jesus, I want to ask you a few questions, my beautiful brother, today. The people that celebrate Dr. King's birthday, are they going to be out here? They're going to be in high places across the nation, civil, human rights organization, women groups, statesmen will all talk about the life and legacy of Dr. King. Our children going to be reminded of what Dr. King did. Jesus, I'm going to ask you to forgive me, George Boston Rhymes, if I boycott all of these ceremonies until we can get up and actually live the dream of Dr. King. Jesus, I'm asking you to forgive me for not duplicating, imitating, and placating the great life and legacy of that great man. And Jesus, I believe that you understand what I'm saying, because you know that so many people profess to be a Christian or some other holy name and espouse to being a follower of you, Jesus. Yet they know here in Valdosta that we've had 31 jail deaths of your children, the mothers and fathers of children here in our community. But the church, Jesus, the pastors, Jesus, the imam, Jesus, the rabbis, Jesus, Brother Rhymes, Jesus, we all have let you down, because it seems like we don't care about Valdosta and Loudoun County leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths. Nobody's even asking a question. Jesus, we can't even get the news media to even report on it. What you think about that, Jesus? Jesus, we have these people that gonna gather out here at Martin Luther King, out here and gonna fill this up, Jesus. These same people would not go to the jail when people are allegedly beat up or denied an attorney, yet they have to go before the judge, Jesus. Won't nobody say nothing about that, Jesus. What you think about that, Jesus? What you think about these people who playing with Dr. King's birthday and playing with your birthday and your death and your burial and your resurrection, Jesus? Yet they start wars, Jesus. They kill innocent men, women, and children, Jesus, in your precious name. And they claim to be Christians. They claim to be Muslim. They claim to be Jews. They claim to be others, Hindu, and etc., Jesus. They have public meetings here, Jesus, that are not even advertised. The general public don't know nothing about it, Jesus. Yet our ancestors and our black mothers and fathers and our white right people died for us to get that right, Jesus. Jesus, we have more churches than was in Moses' day, Jesus. Jesus, are you listening to me? I'm sorry, Jesus. And God, forgive me for using this as a reminder, as a reflection of your son, Jesus, who we crucify every day, when we fail to implement the real teachings of Jesus, Martin Luther King, the founding fathers, John Brown, and others who traveled that great line and who wanted for their neighbors that which they wanted for themselves. Jesus, do you not know we fill the churches on Saturdays and Sundays? We fill the churches. We got more churches in this town, Jesus, than was ever in Damascus. We got more churches than was ever in Jerusalem. We got more mosques in New York than was ever in Palestine, Jesus. But Jesus, when it comes down to getting outside of talking about, we love you, Jesus. 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 Will we ever learn that you said to love your neighbor as you love yourself? Jesus, have you ever heard Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and others and George Rhymes? Have you ever heard us talk about how we love people, yet we criticize other folk as if though you made a mistake in allowing them to come through their mother's womb, just like Martin Luther King and some of the other 43 all-white male presidents? And Jesus, did you make a mistake by allowing Barack Obama to come through his mother's womb? Jesus, did your daddy make a mistake by letting Barack Obama be born and become president of the United States, that he can't do nothing good, according to most new Christians and patriots of this day? Jesus. Jesus. Have we messed this world up so bad until we just need to close our churches down? Jesus, why is it that the pastors of today and the imams of today and the rabbis of today and the priests of today cannot stand up for human and civil and women's rights as the preachers of yesterday? What happened, Jesus? Jesus. Jesus. Hey, Jesus. Jesus. Jesus, can you tell me what happened, please? Why is it, Jesus, that when we stand up and try to address our elected officials, they move us to the end of the agenda, Jesus? In other words, Jesus, it's like they, although our parents, Jesus, they bled, suffered, and died for us to get this right, Jesus, but yet they put us on the end of the agenda, Jesus, as if though they have turned their backs on us and they don't want to hear what the citizens got to say. In other words, it seems like we are turning like Red China and Russia on the people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia, and South Georgia in general. Jesus, I can only say to you, my beautiful brother, that it must pain your heart to know that you gave your life on the cross for us. And then we duplicate your life. We duplicate the life and work of Jesus, of your son, Martin Luther King, your servant. You watch us as we imitate. You watch us imitate other great men and women that gave everything to try to make it better for the next generation. Yet all we think about is lining our own pocketbooks with $1, Jesus. Yeah, that's what we think about Jesus. So how you feel, my brother? How you feel about us placate? Yeah. Jesus, I'm gonna leave you now. I did a writing called Tribute to an Unknown Soldier. And I just want you to listen to it, Jesus. I wrote it about you because because of what I went through the military. I felt your pain, my brother. And so I'm gonna let you listen. God forgive me for talking to this emblem or replica only to make a point about the Jesus that died on the cross of Calvary. Forgive me. But Jesus, I'm gonna play this song or this writing called Tribute to an Unknown Soldier. I know you went through a lot. It must pain you to know that your servants today can collect monies into the churches, into the mosques, into the synagogues, into the temples, to build big material buildings. But we're building children with little tiny hearts of love for their neighbor. I'm gonna leave you now, but thank God you didn't leave me. Once again, this is kvci.blogspot.com. Listen, please, because we want to give you, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Once again, George Foster Ryan, bye-bye, we're gone.